Stress, how it creates constipation. Stress is the #1 killer throughout the world. All the statistics about death rates related to cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. But many of these diseases have their origin in stress, anxiety, and neuroses, and not many people are talking about how this happens. Stress and anxiety use up a lot of nutrition in the body, and when it is not replaced, disease is formed. Stress simply relates to childhood trauma that was not resolved. It relates to trauma that was endured by a child, where that child was helpless to defend against it. Does this sound familiar to you? Most of us have had this type of trauma, growing up with parents, siblings, schoolmates, or relatives. The most devastating trauma is the continual type, day after day, and year after year. This type of trauma changes behaviors and body functions. The behavior has to change to adjust to the internal power of the suppressed trauma. Trauma is an energy source that is stored as a memory. Early trauma is stored in the body and not released unless it is resolved through psychotherapy. Likewise, body functions have to change to accommodate the internal force of the trauma. So, what does all this have to do with constipation? Constipation occurs when fecal matter remains in the colon longer than it should. Constipation is caused by a person not eating the right foods and not living a good lifestyle. When you have experienced excess trauma early on, your natural behavior has changed, and you will tend to eat those foods that suppress your early trauma. Early trauma is still active in your behavior and needs to be suppressed, so that you are not living the early experience constantly. As you age, you will find and eat those foods that give the most relief from the pain suffered early on. You will eat mostly junk and processed foods. It is these foods that do not flow easily through your colon, and that does not supply the nutrients needed to keep your colon and body healthy. The early on trauma is not restricted to the formation of constipation. Most illnesses are created by early excessive trauma. It is difficult to eliminate childhood trauma from directing your behavior, even with the best psychotherapy. But it can be minimized so that it does not play a major part in your poor behavior and personality. The stress and anxiety of past trauma typically are managed by the many stress relief programs or activities, such as exercise, meditation, religion, high achievement, cults memberships, and many other challenging activities.